Wanted to share with you something that's I've been noticing in the last week that I think it's been bubbling for about a year, and it's about the importance of, for us to be empowered, we really must adopt a level of critical thinking, mainly because without critical thinking disempowerment easily happens, because what the one thing that gets traded is truth for security. And what I mean by that is this: when someone presents you with a point of view, and that point of view is delivered in a confident way with some good facts that hang together, then we crave certainty. So if they offer a conclusion or an angle, we're often then we allow that belief from them to transfer into us very easily. And so we end up believing without asking more questions and going into other perspectives. What can tend to happen when we do that too often is that we find out that that information was not accurate, and it can begin to build levels of cynicism in us, so that we end up starting to shut off and distrust people when they're sharing information. So what tends to therefore happen is we move from blindly following something to blindly blocking something. And as you can imagine, that extreme swing from one to the other is never ever relying on us to actually dig deep and find out what's really going on. Are they correct? Are they correct in some way? Are they incorrect in many ways? It's our responsibility to actually do that. Now, the reason why I bring this up now is because as I watched that documentary Kony 2012, I went through the process of letting that story, letting that angle of what had happened to these children and their parents, and how this individual became personally involved. I really felt the magnitude of that experience and that conviction. And then I tended to want to therefore expand what I felt was really going on. Sometimes you sense, you allow your intuition to guide you, and that's probably the best way to do it. In other words, I sense there may be more of the story, let me look into this angle and that angle. But often, if intuition is not compelling you, then it's good to at least have a level of structure to critically think. So when you think of critically thinking, you think of going deeper into the cause and effect of what's being presented to you. So think of questions of why. Why now? Why am I being given this information now? Why is the call to action that? Are there other calls to action that they could have chosen for this? Are there any other solutions? Also, who is this person, Joseph Kony? Why is he such a bad person? Where is he now? What's happening? Can I go on the internet and do a lot of research and read original articles on this man? Let me get some substance to the backstory. Think of backstory as a context where you get to connect intimately with what's really going on without an angle. Now, always remember, when you hear a story from anyone, it has to be an angle, because they're giving you one version. But there's, as you can imagine, when we all share stories, we can, at best, we're giving one version based on our interpretations, our belief systems, our motivations, and that these filters always force it into one angle. Now, if we relied on information purely from that one dimension, then what we'll always find is we've missed that broader perspective that makes us a lot more well informed, and therefore our decisions to act a lot more targeted and a lot more accurate in terms of our actions are going to attract a reaction that is really aligned with what we want. So with critical thinking, and with Kony 12, what I liked about Kony 12 is it really did show the power of viral marketing, but it also showed that when mainstream media supports something, that should be, why would mainstream media, who are funded by corporations and governments, why are they so eager to push Kony 12 through the mainstream? And that really allows you to find out who the vested interests are, and the fact that there were establishment people involved, that allowed you to go, okay, what's going on here? Why one person, well, we know there are dictators everywhere doing atrocious things to so many people. Why one person in one country is more important to everyone else? And then I was so impressed with the younger generation's ability to begin to scrutinize. They came from the heart, but they then went to the head and said, okay, what's really going on here? And so a lot of the vested interests have been exposed, and that is very encouraging when you look at how powerful we all are when we come together and work together for a common cause. If Kony 12 woke us up to our potential, then thumbs up from me, and it probably in some way backfired on the establishment. But what's more important now is, if we're waking up to our potential, let's critically think what's going on around us and start empowering ourselves to change our world so it's more aligned to our values. Because, you know, personally, when you meet people, we have very common values. We want love, respect, truth, sharing, to have integrity with one another. But when you watch what's going on in the world through the media, the opposite is happening. So why is there such a huge disconnect from your own personal world of your friends, your family, and even strangers that will jump anything to help you when you're stranded in a car or something? But yet when you watch media, it's like there are villains and boogeymen and all sorts of bad people, and we need protection, and we need to give away our civil rights because there's just terrorism everywhere. So it's really important that now that we've woken up to our power and what we can do, that we really start to dismantle the illusions that show how disconnected we are, and start to reconnect with a level of measured protection, finally allow the growth to start to happen to us as a community, with sharing and building relationships with one another. Anyway, thank you very much for spending this time with me. Please go out there and come back with Mind Power Coaching. Share the empowerment information you're finding from your critical thinking skills out there, viewing articles, watching documentaries, and whatever else. Thank you, and see you later. Bye for now.